Welcome back to Compete Digital 180. We're here today at the mothership in Boston, Massachusetts, Compete's headquarters. And we're talking today with Lincoln Merrihew, who's Managing Director, focusing on automotives, travel, and petroleum. Today we're going to ask Lincoln for his 180 seconds of insight. So Lincoln, you're on the clock.
Let's do it.
First question. We're seeing signs of a recovery right now. What are you guys seeing that supports that?
We're seeing increased consumer behavior online, which is what Compete tracks. So researching for cars, for petroleum, for travel has all ticked up over the past 6 months or so. It's a precursor to sales, so people have to be at least confident enough to research what they're considering buying. And we're seeing that, which is consistent with other signs of the economy coming back.
Any specific examples you can give?
Yeah, automotive research kicked up early in 2009. Travel's been up year over year. Some of our petroleum research suggests the same thing. So we look at it both seasonally, so we're looking for year-over-year gains, and in absolute terms, and we're seeing that signs of it on all three measures. Now, it's not a full recovery, but it's starting to thaw.
And so if you're a marketer and you're trying to capitalize, let's say, on the recovery, but you want to look for the right things, what advice can you give somebody?
Yeah, it's a very complex situation because although people are shopping for things, they're not necessarily purchasing things, and some of that has to do with what we call consumer elasticity. So we've had a very deep, very significant recession, and no one really knows yet to what extent consumers will go back to their old ways. So even as the economy recovers, it may not be the same old, same old. Consumers may come back and spend, but in entirely different ways.
So if you're analyzing what you're doing online right now, one thing you have to be careful of is not to be fooled into that, looking at that first sign of recovery as potentially the full recovery, but you look for a potential trough coming behind it.
Yeah, there's two parts. One is any pent-up demand, which is another unknown, which as that gets exercised could be a false positive, and there could be a lull after that. But also look at the extent to which consumers are going to specific brands, cross-shopping, looking at price versus brand versus product, and kind of understand the dynamic of how these consumers are coming out on the other side. We've never had a recession in the digital age, so there are no benchmarks. So it's really going to be almost flying as we're going.
So watch out for lots of different factors as you look at what consumers are doing online, and beware of the sort of troughs that potentially could be ahead of us. Thanks very much, Lincoln.
Thank you, Scott.